Well, thank you for joining us today. I want to welcome Dan Shikiar, who's with Jiffy. Jiffy is the company that SinglePoint acquired, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and then also we're going to talk about a new venture that we've started with Dan called ShieldSaver. So, first of all, Dan, welcome to SinglePoint.
Thanks,
And we're really pleased with Jiffy so far. It looks like our first year, last year, we're going to do a little over $1 million in sales, and also I heard that we're starting in Arizona. So tell us a little bit about Jiffy, maybe how you started it, and how excited you are to be a part of SinglePoint, using some of our technology to make Jiffy even better.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started Jiffy Auto Glass, I think 2015. We brought it from zero to almost $1 million in revenue last year with your guys' help at SinglePoint. When you guys reached out to me about the auto glass space, the revenues, one of the things that really attracted me to your company was the fact you had a lot of apps, app heavy, and technology, and I figured you guys could really help us bring a lot of innovation to an industry that is looking for innovation, right? It's typically very blue collar, wipe back the cocktail napkin, and so some of the, with your guys' help, it's allowed us to get to that $1 million mark, and now we're expanding to Arizona even further, and I expect it to go to about 1.3 million this year.
Yeah, well, that's a great answer, and
high margins
I guess the comment from SinglePoint, some of the shareholders may say, well, what are you guys doing in the windshield business? Well, what we're doing in the windshield business is we're trying to use some of our expertise in building apps, text messaging, and the windshield business is a $5 billion a year industry, and the margins are huge. So we're really excited to be a part of it. And just yesterday, we had some of your team down here in Arizona training to start Arizona. So we're expanding into Arizona with Jiffy.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact you guys have SinglePoint has an office here is great. We brought up a new GM in Arizona. We're expected to do about $250,000 in sales in Arizona, which, as you know, is a cashback state from an insurance standpoint. So yeah, very excited about that. So we'll have a big presence in Colorado and in Arizona, which are both good markets for windshields.
Yeah, and just from a SinglePoint standpoint, our shareholders have heard the analogy many a times that we're the Berkshire Hathaway of the OTC QB, and this was one of our first acquisitions, and they're doing $1 million in revenue. There's great margins there, so we've been really pleased with it. I also think it's important to note that I believe there's around 10, 12 employees. So it's been interesting for SinglePoint to acquire a company and incorporate the owner and the employees in, and it's just going to make us more experienced, more stronger in doing that the next time. Now I'm going to kind of switch gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about another company that we've invested in that Dan actually started called ShieldSaver. And that also is going to fit back into Jiffy, as we'll talk about. But anyway, ShieldSaver is really what we like to call in the industry a home run, we think, and is really going to use technology and text messaging to hopefully be the Uber or the vacation rental of windshield repair. So tell us about your original idea of ShieldSaver and how you told SinglePoint about it, and then SinglePoint has really came in with your help, with your knowledge, and built a complete app. Which a lot about what today is we're going to be introducing this app.
Sure. Let me address that one point at a time. So my background was in technology prior to starting an auto glass company, which is a long story in itself. Okay. I realized everyone needs windshields, there's good margin in it, so we started the business, started doing pretty well. The challenge there was, in order to give someone a quote for a windshield, as you know, I need to know the year and make and model of your vehicle.
Correct.
So you need to have an owner present or have someone fill a contact request form. If I'm looking at and there's a ton of broken windshields in Colorado, so I kept thinking, how can we automate this? We had a contract with the airport, and I kept thinking, geez, we have 800 cars in valet, but there's 40,000 parking spaces. We'd love to be able to issue quotes. Well, to do that, we kind of put together this license plate recognition technology where it pulls up the year and the make and the model of the vehicle and prints out a quote. And we used a third-party technology that was pretty clunky, but it proved the concept.
Yes.
I brought that to SinglePoint, and they immediately, or you guys immediately had the recognition that, hey, you can be the Uber or Airbnb or hotels.com of windshields. Like, it's a sales aggregation tool. I didn't see that at the time, but it really is. And I realized, why did we start this? Why did I come up with the ShieldSaver idea? And I realized that a big thing for me, Greg, was I just don't like inefficiencies, right? So, you know, back in the day, I never minded taking a taxi cab until I realized I don't like waiting outside a bar and fighting for someone with my taxi cab, and the guy might show up and he might not. I couldn't track him, and all of a sudden I would never take a taxi. I'd take an Uber. Similarly, at the mall, I like getting clothing, right? But I don't like going to the mall, fighting for a parking space, going store to store, dealing with the crowds. So I use Amazon quite a bit. You know, airplane reservations, hotels, everything's been simplified by these aggregators. And the thing they have in common is they don't actually own the company they're selling, right? And so I said, well, we could expand Jiffy. It's scalable. ShieldSaver, I feel, is an excellent sales aggregation tool. So our goal is to build a network of installers all around, regardless of state, give them the app, and they get leads that way. It generates sales. You can issue thousands of quotes in an hour, matter of hours, using a handheld, a mobile device, either a printer or text technology, which SinglePoint is very versed in, obviously, which is one of the reasons I wanted to come to you guys. And they rebuilt the app from ground up, and I just love its efficiency. It's great. In a matter of 30 seconds or less, you can get a full auto glass quote, provide transparency to the consumer, and issue the quote out to them, and then ping it to a glass company who will fulfill it.
So in SinglePoint, and with the help of Dan, because he's been in the windshield business, we have built this app. Really, in the next week, we are really, this is our coming out party. Maybe Dan, you could talk about some of the deals that you put together with companies within the app, Carfax and others, and then also talk about some of our first clients that are going to start using the product.
Oh, absolutely. No, people, when they see it, people love it. So it's designed for parking lots to further monetize their parking lots initially. So if you're parking at a facility and you're making typically your park there, it's $20 a day, they're there for a week, that's what they're making. This gives parking lots the ability to provide a value-added safety service to their consumers at a price they can afford, and they get money in the back end. It also monetizes, in the case of a car wash, something they can monetize their existing labor force. So rather than have those guys who are outside salespeople selling you, hey, you have a broken windshield, they can actually use this app to, their own valets or their own attendants can use this to issue quotes and provide an advertising and marketing opportunity for the car wash, and their employees make more money, and they get a back-end revenue spiff. As far as the contracts go, we have contracts, just with doing very little marketing, we got contracts with Laz Parking, which is, I believe, the second or largest parking company in the world. We're at the Sacramento airport and have a couple other ones going right now. Wally Park, which is I think has 16 locations across the country. We're in Denver there, and they're interested in expanding that. And this is with very little marketing. We've struck deals with Carfax, got very involved. They love the concept, love the idea. Migrant Glass, which is I think the second or third largest wholesaler of auto glass, helped participate and build the app. People, and they want to white label it. When people see it, they really love the idea. It's an idea whose time has come. If you think about it, Greg, all these other companies are moving away from brick and mortar into things that bring the experience to the consumer. This is just one more thing you don't want to do when you come home from a busy trip is get your car washed, get your windshield changed, fixed out, all these little to-dos, and people want you coming to them. Rather, they want the company coming to you, and that's what this does. It gives you a quote, the company comes to you with the click of a button on the app, gives you a price, and it's one less thing you have to deal with.
Tell us about some of the opportunities with other companies that are selling similar things on the phone or on the internet. And when I mean similar things like automotive, like tires, and the opportunities for us just to put our windshield in their current database.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a huge, that's an area we need to still get into. It's going after the lowest hanging fruit right now is obviously parking lots, car washes, anyone where you have a parking consumer that can benefit from this, valets. Beyond that, though, it's a very obvious play to integrate into different apps. So, we view the windshield as almost a Trojan horse because it's the first thing you see and your vehicle is cracked. But beyond that, you can visually assess all kinds of things. You can assess tires, you can assess brakes, dents in a car, headlight restoration, anything you can visually assess, we can actually outsource and sell. Once we get the information from the windshield, we can point out, we can capture that information in the system. So for example, we would take a look at your Lexus and we say, gee, hey, you have a broken windshield, you get it fixed through ShieldSaver with a click of a button, you get a fair price. And we also noticed, gee, your tires are low, you might have faded headlights on it, whatever the case might be. We can then sell that information or provide these services to you through a network of people that fulfill other aspects of the automotive industry. So it's kind of blockchain for automotive, I would say.
Yeah,
like
that makes
aftermarket
sense.
automotive. Yeah,
that
blockchain.
makes sense.
You can track everything as well in our secure database.
Yeah, I mean, so again, SinglePoint has identified a business, a product, and windshields, which is a $5 billion industry that is totally underserved by technology.
Can I bring something up?
Of course.
Sorry to cut you off for that. You bring up a good point.
Yes.
I had the idea when I was with Jiffy, and Jiffy, we feed leads right now, and we book jobs with ShieldSaver. Jiffy's our fulfillment partner. So you're making money as SinglePoint, smart bikes, you're making money on both ends.
Yeah, what Dan is saying is that Jiffy, the windshield glass repair company that we bought, has a presence in Colorado, Arizona, and California. So if we get a lead through our ShieldSaver app, of course, we're sending it to our own fulfillment, which, of course, we're making more money or saving money, however you want to look at it. Dan's been in the business a long time, so he has the expertise. SinglePoint is taking the technology to be able to really scale with the money tree, the Rocket Mortgage, the Uber, the vacation rental
Airbnb
scenario
kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sales aggregator. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna spend our time and energy on technology, getting the lead, and then we're going to have someone in every city, every state that can actually replace the glass, and that's the new way of doing business, and that's exactly our model. So, we've been talking today about really two different businesses, the Jiffy, and that's the company that is actually replacing the windshield, and ShieldSaver is the company that's actually generating the lead. Can you explain a little bit better how those two tie together?
Absolutely. So, first off, when you guys bought Jiffy, one of the things I liked was you brought a lot of innovation to it. So we're able to do texting technology and use a lot of the technology that SinglePoint brought to the table. So that gave us a step up already. Jiffy is essentially one of the fulfillment partners, which we're building a network of, as you mentioned, in Arizona, California, and across the country. And it allowed us to test out allowed us to basically test out the ShieldSaver app to make sure it works, iron out all the kinks. So ShieldSaver generates a lead by issuing license plate technology quotes. The customer calls in or texts in, says we'd like to get this fulfilled. We contact the fulfillment partner, which in this case is Jiffy.
Yes.
Jiffy comes out and fulfills it.
Yes.
So we were able to guarantee, kind of test out the model there, prove it works, and now I think we're ready to really scale.
I do too. We're really excited about it. We spent the last 9 months building out this app, which as far as we're concerned is probably one of the best, most sophisticated app in the country.
Night and day from the one we had with a third-party provider,
Yes.
it worked, which proved the concept. It was incredibly clunky. The one that SinglePoint built for us is amazing. Flexibility, customization. It becomes an advertising play. You can advertise on it. It just, when people see it, clients see it, they love it. So,
well, the shareholders are going to see it, and part of you coming into town in this interview is to really have a coming out party for ShieldSaver and show everybody what it can do, and we're really excited about this business, and just glad that you could come in today.
Thanks, Greg.
All right,
Pleasure
thank
being
you.
here.